So it has been quite a while since you guys have seen my planter. And well, you actually haven't seen it since I've done a little bit of updating and a little bit of work to it. I shouldn't say I did it myself. I actually hired a good welding friend of mine, Melson's Mobile Welding, who some of you have seen in the videos previous. But I have removed the lift assist wheels. Many of you guys last year were saying I should, and I didn't really think I was going to, but I decided, you know what? I have a tractor that can lift my whole entire planter, no issues whatsoever. So got rid of lift assist wheels. Mainly just the fact that it was kind of hard to store with the wheel sticking out. Like I couldn't back it in the corner of a shed or anything. And then also I couldn't back it into the corners of a field very well. So I was leaving, you know, sometimes 5-6 foot gaps along the edge of the field, and then the weeds would grow there. So this way I can back right into the back corner of a field and not worry about it. Also added 2 liquid tanks. So I'll be running in-furrow fertilizer this year. Now this is something I have not told you guys yet. I'm not actually gonna be, running any starter per se. I bought a green lightning machine here last summer. So I've been actually making my own salt-free nitrogen at home. I've been doing a bunch of research on how to use it. Some people say it doesn't work with the crap. Some people absolutely love it. So I'm gonna be doing a bunch of testing here with that this year. So if you wanna stay tuned, you wanna see if the green lightning works, how I use it, make sure you guys get subscribed and leave a comment down below for that. But I got 2 70-gallon tanks on the planter. And then I also have purchased a 300-gallon tank that will replace my front weight bracket and rock box as sitting outside. Haven't installed that yet. So that way I'll have a total of, 440 gallons of liquid on the planter. And then lastly, my welding friend, after he built this beautiful bridge here and added the tanks, he also got me down to 1 vacuum because 2 vacuums on a truckload planter is insanely overkill. So now down to 1 vacuum in the center of the planter. And today I'm working on the gauge wheels. So I'm not gonna do a ton more to this planter. Oh, actually I take that back. I am gonna be doing more. But doing gauge wheels right now. I've already kind of started off camera. I bought all new rubbers. These ones are all very worn out. So gonna replace the rubbers. Probably gonna sand down and paint all these metal rims. Then I'm also debating on if I should buy new gauge wheel arms or if I should just keep reusing these ones, save a little bit of money. Haven't decided on that yet. And also I just bought the electric pump kit for the in-furrow, so that has to get installed. I don't know if that'll be this video or the next one. And then last year I talked about potentially adding an electric drive kit to this planter to get rid of the ground drive. And me and a buddy have been working on it. I know I said we were gonna do it last year. It didn't happen. We're still working on it. And all I can say is this is a spare unit I bought on the internet. We have a prototype. And I would say we did a little bit of testing last night. I'm gonna say it's 80 to 85% of the way there. So that's pretty exciting. Hopefully that comes here this year. So obviously guys, I just threw a ton of information at you. And yes, it's not all happening immediately, but this is all stuff that is gonna happen here before we start planting in 2026. So the next couple months. So yeah, just if there's anything you're interested in, get subscribed because that's the only way you're gonna know when this stuff goes live. Like the electric drive kit or the fertilizer kit. There's actually stuff I'm not even talking to you guys about yet because I haven't guaranteed or figured out everything. So, yeah. Why does my camera show oh, that's my knee. Oh. Sorry. I'm looking at my little screen of my camera. It looked like there was something floating in front of me. It's just my knee. But, oh, the fun stuff. With these old planters. old rusty bolts. Got all the bolts out. Most of them were wrecked when I pulled them out. I don't know if this... I'm wondering if these are the original gauge wheel rubbers, or if they've had to have been replaced by now. I don't know. I don't know how many acres this planter's done. Complete, absolute mystery. But now I can separate these. Now, separating these is actually fairly simple. It's the putting them back together again that I am kind of worried about. How did I do this on the last one? The last one I did it like 10 seconds. Can I go from this side? Oh, yeah, there we go. Just slip underneath there, lift up. There we go. There's one half. Actually, the back sides of these aren't as bad as I thought they would be. Hit it with a wire brush. Call it a day. Probably gonna get new bearings and stuff too. It's one of those things like, while it's apart, you might as well do it. But what I don't get is, you have a bearing and then they put this like sleeved bushing around it. I mean, I should probably just buy it all, but then I gotta press it all together. I'm wondering if I should try and press them apart and then just keep the bushing, or I don't know. I gotta price some of this stuff out yet. So some time has gone by. I got all the gauge wheels taken apart, and I started this a little bit yesterday off camera, but I got a lot left to go. I am taking all these. Now, I was gonna sand them all down and sandblast them, and I just realized that's gonna take so much time. I'll just be better off buying new ones. So what I'm doing is I am just wire brushing the backside where there's some pretty heavy rust. Actually, this one actually looks really good. A lot of them have worse rust. Clean them up a bit, and I'm gonna wash them off, wipe them down, and I'm just gonna primer and paint right over the top of that. Because let's face it, this is not a show planter by any means. The paint is all very faded. I could take a little polish to it if I have time this year. We'll see if all of the other projects I got going on, but yeah, this is not a show planter. This is, the parts guy at the local John Deere dealership calls it a Mako paint job, right? It does look good when you drive by going 60 miles per hour. That's kind of my goal here, right? I want, when the neighbors drive by, I'm out in the field, I want them to go, oh, that's a pretty nice looking old planter. That's the goal. Anyways, it's decent outside, so rather than making a mess inside, we're doing it outside. Last one. Finally. Nowhere near done. I still gotta wash them all off, clean them all off, prime them, paint them, put them back in the gauge wheels, put the arms back on, put them on the planter. This part's almost done though. Okay. I'm sure there are some perfectionists among you that are a little squirmish right now, but here's the plan. Put everything on pallets, so that way the water won't hit the cement and then come back up. I mean, it's still not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be better. I'm gonna clean off the back sides. Now, the main reason is there's all this dust and crap like in the centers that I can't get out. So wash off the back sides, flip them over, wash off the tops. And obviously, it's just gonna puddle in there. Flip it back over, let it dry. It's kind of a not very sunny, high humidity day, so I don't know, probably not gonna dry very fast, but hopefully it'll dry enough where tonight I can take them, put them in the rocks, and at least get primer on them. Okay, took a break, had to go move some soybeans, so it's later in the evening now, it's getting kind of cold. So I want to get the first layer of primer on. Using John Deere Buff Primer Sealer for the first time. I'm usually a Rust-Oleum guy, we'll see how it goes. Put everything in the middle of the yard so I don't get any drift on anything. And I did wipe a couple of these down with a little bit of paint thinner because they had a little oily residue on them. But yeah, we're gonna see how she turns out. Like I said, not showroom quality, but good enough. Initial thought of this John Deere primer, yeah, this stuff kind of sucks. It doesn't help that it's way too windy out here to be doing this, but I don't know, it doesn't seem to layer as good as Rust-Oleum does. But it's what I bought. Oh, I need to straighten that edge out. Progress has been made. I finished doing the primer. After I used up the John Deere primer, I went and got myself some Rust-Oleum. For what I'm doing, it works so much better. Anyways, time to try putting some yellow on to see how these things actually turn out. Like I said, 60 mile per hour paint job. Well, let's see how it goes. Man, that is coming out of there terribly. I gotta shake it up some more. Okay, I shook it another couple minutes. See how it goes now. Honestly, I think a couple coats of that will be actually looking pretty good. So, finished the painting last night. Honestly, they look better than I thought they would. They're not perfect. Sometimes some of these inside rims maybe need a little bit more, and I can maybe touch them up a little bit after I get them pressed on the wheels. But I want to get them back on the actual rubber because this takes up a lot of space. This is only 12 rows worth. So, my dad has a press kit for these gauge wheels. I've already got one side put on here. Now I think I need to lube it up, put the rubber on, put the other half on, and theoretically it should just press together. Theoretically. Our experience in the past has been a little iffy. So I've done a couple, and I'm kind of starting to figure this whole thing out. So I'm picking one rim that is kind of ugly, and one rim that is pretty nice. Put the nice ones obviously on the outside, so that's where you can see them. And two things. First of all, having metal rims makes pressing these into the gauge wheel rubbers way easier. The last time I did this, we had half nylon, half metal, and we cracked so many of those nylon pieces. But these, you can just press them right down and it works great. The second thing is, here it is, you gotta lube everything. Really good. Just like many things in life. Lots of lube. I'll stand by it. You gotta lube the wheel. You can't just half do it. Don't work. Let's see, this is a nice one. Okay. So this goes down in the holder, like so. Then, take the rubber, lube the living daylights out of this. Put that on there. Then we're gonna get a bearing, which I forgot. Bearing. The other half of the rim. You get the drill. Line up all the holes. Put on the top piece. Okay. Of course, get a phone call right when I'm about to start. All right, phone call over. The metal rims are way better than plastic.
Something cracked there or just?
I don't think so. I think it just popped in. I haven't bent or cracked one yet.
Yeah, no, I think they're better. Yeah, they're definitely better. So I think yeah.
I mean, I like the plastic better on the planter, but for doing this, the metal's better.
No, it's not. I mean, you want every, what, 5 minutes or sooner?
Well, if all my stuff was here, it'd be quite quick, but I'm having to... But no, it's not bad. I had my meters tested too.
Okay.
My E-sets. I took them down to Vaughn. I don't even know how to say his last name. They all tested like 99.7% or better. One tested.
So you're gonna redo them all?
One tested 100%.
Okay.
One didn't skip. One didn't have a single skip or a single double.
Well, good.
I took him down there expecting him to replace a bunch of stuff. And he says, "No, these are like the best ones I've ever tested." Oh my God. Okay.
I'll be darned.
So yeah, last year I had a bunch of skips and double issue, or I had a bunch of doubles. I think it was I had those stupid
seed or
the what? Oh, I had they're not seed firmers.
Oh.
They're supposed to scrape the side of the seed or of the trench.
Oh.
And
I think it drug them?
I think it drugged the crap out of them.
Yeah, I've never been a seed firmer myself.
I thought it was maybe the meat. I didn't know it was the meters or not, but for the fact that I did nothing to meters and they tested 99.6.
Okay.
It was definitely I don't even remember what they're called, but.
Okay. I'm gonna go pick up rocks for a while.
Sounds good. I'll keep at this. Every once in a while, the lip doesn't go all the way down into the rubber, and I found I just kind of stick a flathead screwdriver in there and do this, and it helps release it a little bit, get it to where it needs to go. So a couple days have gone by. I got the gauge wheels mostly done. I did not have enough bearings to finish, so I'm waiting on some parts coming in the mail. So in the meantime, taking a break from the gauge wheels, got my tractor and planter back in the shop, and I'm going to mount the air compressor for my airbag downforce on my planter to the bottom of my little step / tray thing that I have in the corner of my cab. Because you're not supposed to have these outside, really. They suck in too much dirt and it ruins the air compressors. So I'm gonna make a mount it to the bottom of this. That way it's in the cab, out of the way, and it's a little more easier for me to monitor what the air pressure is. So this sits on the corner post, and I measured up this piece of steel. I'm just gonna cut off the ends, weld it to the bottom, drill these holes, so I can just bolt it up, and I should be good. I like these big band saws. They are very nice. Now right now, at home, you may be asking yourself, Carson, that little footstool thing you made doesn't look that heavy. It's just a little bit of square tubing. can it support the heft of these little air compressors? Maybe. Maybe not. But I honestly don't know where else to put it. So that's where it's going. Oh. Ah. Three more to go. So got that welded up, got it painted, sitting over there. In the meantime, I was like, I'm gonna start putting these gauge wheels back on and see if everything runs true, and if I have any bent shanks, now would be time to replace them because I do have a couple extra units that I bought. And I have found something out. Every gauge wheel that I put a brand new bearing in doesn't run true. Yet all the gauge wheels I put old bearings in run true. So I don't know how well the camera's gonna show this. Probably not good at all, but it is wobbling real bad. So about half of these gauge wheels, I gotta tear apart, take the bearings out of them, and take in the Deere because I don't know why they're not running true. So I got one popped apart. Here's the old bearing compared to the new bearing. Slightly different actual bearing design, but like they're the same height, they're the same thickness. Why this one works fine and this one does not, I have no idea. But I tried it on like 3 or 4 different ones. Every time I had an old bearing, it ran almost perfectly true, if not perfectly true, and every single new bearing has just been all over the place. So that's fun. At first I thought maybe I got the wrong bearing, but I don't think I did. I mean, they look identical in every single way that I can tell. So here's a problem. These new bearings, they don't sit flush against the bottom of this. They go in and they're all wobbly. Yeah, they don't sit in there. Whereas these old ones, they sit in there nice and they align themselves up. But they're the same bearing. And I didn't go buy cheap aftermarket. I mean, these are from John Deere. These came in a John Deere box, a John Deere part number. Blows my mind. I did try sticking one in the freezer. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it'll shrink enough where I can get it in there and press them together quick or not. I'm guessing not. I'm guessing I'm probably gonna need like dry ice in order to get that to work correctly. So I did happen to find the calipers here. We're just gonna see what the difference is between these. Okay, the old one, 39.94 millimeters. 39.94. The new one, 40.15. Just a partial millimeter wider. 39.94. Oh, now I'm getting 39.92. 40.15. Huh. So I posted a TikTok and stuff. People said to freeze it, and I did put one in the freezer before I even posted it. Honestly, ooh, let's hit it with a hammer. Socket. I need a socket. And a hammer. Wasn't quite the hammer I was thinking of. All of our hammers keep disappearing. Honestly, oh crap, this might work. Nope, it's not. I thought it was, it's not. Never mind, all that rush is for nothing. Oh, there I got it. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, that was kind of a rush, but a moment of truth. No, I can't tell from the way I'm holding it. No, it's still wobbling quite a bit. It appears. Yeah, it's still wobbling. So I had it all bolted up, was still a little bit wobbly. I'm looking at it. It's closer than it was, not quite there yet. So it's the next day, and I posted some stuff online about my bearing issue. And I have a college friend who is a parts guy at a dealership a little ways away from me. And he sent me a Snapchat this morning that basically said, yeah, John Deere did change the diameter of the bearings, because they also changed the diameter of the hole in these rims. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I have some aftermarket ones that are coming in tonight. We'll see if those fit. If they do, great. If not, I'm gonna try and return everything to Deere and then just buy whole new assemblies. It's gonna be an extra $1,000, but I don't know what, I don't have any other options other than to press the bushings out of the bearings. But I've been told that that sucks too. There's really no good way to do it. So the new gauge wheel bearings came in from Allstate Ag Parts. Here they are. Two different suppliers. One's a Cabot and one's a Greenlee Machinery. But I have been measuring them. They are the correct size. I actually put one in already right here and it worked perfect. So unfortunately, because I didn't know about all these not working when I purchased them, I don't have enough to finish, but I have enough to keep moving. So at least I know these work. I'll order some more. That way I can get all the gauge wheels done eventually. So off camera, I did get a few of the new gauge wheels installed. Not too many though. I get to about here and that's where I run out because I had to wait for those other bearings. Now, however, the new bearings came in and off camera, I pressed them all on, got all the gauge wheel arms laid out. I'm gonna reuse as many old gauge wheel arms as I can. I'm gonna put the whole planter together and then I'm gonna see if there are any gauge wheels that are not lining up with the discs correctly like they should. And then I have a whole bunch of new, I found a guy on eBay that, I don't know, it was a marine parts store. I mean, they sell boat parts, but for some reason they had a bunch of John Deere gauge wheel arms for like $10 a piece. I mean, they were super cheap. So I bought, two of them came in. I'm waiting on like 5 more. So if there are any gauge wheels that do not line up the disc correctly, it's either a bad gauge wheel arm or it's a bent shank. So put the whole thing together, replace gauge wheel arms, see if that fixes it. If it doesn't, I have a couple of shanks that I can replace it with, which will probably be another video because the video you're watching right now is going live in less than 24 hours. I'll be so happy when these gauge wheels are done with. I should have just bought the whole assemblies. I could have saved myself days at this point of work. And they would look nicer in the whole 9 yards. So I am trying to reuse as many of these old gauge wheels as I possibly can, but you can see kind of right by my fingers there is that wear spot. I am flipping them all over so that way they're wearing on the new spot. So yeah, these John Deere gauge wheel arms are reversible. So you can get a little bit more extra life out of them. For this old planter on a budget, that's what we're doing. Look at that. Some fresh gauge wheels on the planter, like getting a new pair of shoes for your first day of school. So like I mentioned, there are a couple of shanks that are pretty bent. That is something I will attend to in a future video. We have a huge snowstorm coming tonight. I'm trying to get as much of the little things done as I possibly can, and it would be nice to have help doing the row units because they're kind of a two-man job. And my dad's currently on vacation, so I will hopefully do that when he comes back. But before I close up this video, there's one more thing that has to be done, and that is this. This is the air line for the suspension, not the suspension, the downforce on the planter. And earlier I made that bracket to put my air compressor in the cab, so I can still put my feet up on my footrest. It's kind of out of the way over there. I can see the pressure gauge pretty dang well, and I can also release air pressure from this little valve right here. And I have it wired up back here. Challenger has these two auxiliary switches that run off of this power bank right here. So this switch, and I don't have the power turned on the tractor right now, but this switch runs my inverter for charging drone, laptop, camera batteries, phone battery, whatever. And then this one runs the air compressor, turns it on and off. So that way I don't have to reach all the way down here and flip this little switch. I just leave it on all the time down there and flip it from back here. However, the air compressor doesn't do very good if the air line just pumps into the cab. So I'm going to go down, figure out where I gotta put that air line into the down pressure, run it through the window, and try and get enough slack in there so I can raise it up and down without having any issues. So it looks like the T is right here on row 6. Should be pretty simple. Route it underneath. Probably just route it right with the hydraulic lines. Probably be fine. Okay, this is some kind of stiff stuff. The Amazon special. Okay, we'll see if that works. There's really no great way to do it because there's really no routing to do. It goes from there to there. I mean, I guess I could zip tie it to a hydraulic line here, just to keep it out of the way. I might do that. Well, let's see if we can hold pressure. Oh, needle's starting to move. That's good. Okay, I got a bunch of air pressure in them. Now I do know, with basically any air down pressure system, there's gonna be leaks. It's just, with these old planters, it's kind of the way it is. Every other pass, you just gotta turn the air compressor on for a minute. Kind of the way it is, but I don't see any major ones. I put about 100 pounds of pressure in there. They're all aired up. I do know this line right here is a small leak, but that's a short one I can replace really easy. Heck yes! So I think that is where the video is going to end for today. Next, I'm going to be working on this liquid system, and that will be a part 2 because this video is just getting way too long. I already know that it is. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to see me put a full liquid system on this planter, I got to get the front tank on as well. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, because otherwise, how do you know when I post it? See you in the next one.